Our next video involves factoring trinomials. Trinomials have three terms, and it is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. And this will always factor into two parentheses. You have an x in the first position, and then the strategy for finding the second terms inside each parentheses is that they have to multiply to equal c, which is a constant, and they have to add to equal b, which is the number in front of x. So looking at some examples, x squared plus 10x plus 21, we'll factor into two parentheses. X goes in the first position in each parentheses. And then for the numbers, we want the two numbers to multiply to equal 21 and add to equal 10. And so you think of all of your products of 21. 1 times 21, 3 times 7. List out all of your products and then find which one adds to equal 10. That's going to give you the 3 and the 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 plus 7 is 10. So we factored this example into x plus 3, x plus 7, and that's your final answer. It's a good thing to check your work. To check your work, you can use FOIL, first, outside, inside, last, and hopefully you should get the original trinomial that you started with. First times first is x squared. Outside, x times 7 is 7x. Inside, 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And then your last 3 times 7 is 21. And then you can combine your middle term 7x and 3x would give you the 10x. So we do get x squared plus 10x plus 21, which is what we started with. So we know that our factoring is correct. X plus 3, x plus 7. And just to see some other examples, it's all the same procedure. As long as there's no number in front of x squared, we can separate it into two parentheses, x and x in the first positions, and then we're looking for two numbers that multiply to equal -12 and add to equal -4. So all of your factors of -12 would be -12, -1 and 12, -2 and 6, -3 and 4, and then you can switch them around and say -12 and 1, -6 and 2, -4 and 3. And so you're looking in this list of which one, when you add them together, will give you -4, that number in front of x. You can check all those. You should come down to say that 2 plus -6 is equal to -4. So 2 and -6 are the numbers that we need to place into our parentheses. So our answer is x plus 2 times x minus 6. And again, we can check our work. And we're still using FOIL for this. First, outside, inside, last. And after we multiply and combine our like terms, we should get the same trinomial that we began with. And then finally, in the third example, it looks a little different because there's a number in front of x squared. But the first thing we want to check to see, we always check to see if there is a GCF we can factor out. And looking at the 3x squared, the 6xy, and the 9y squared, we see that 3 can divide evenly into all three terms. So the first thing we're going to do is factor out that 3. And we're dividing each term by 3. That leaves us with x squared minus 2xy minus 3y squared. And now it looks a little different because you've got x's and y's, but it's the same procedure. Factors into two parentheses where you got an x in the first positions. And you only have one possibility. You're trying to find two numbers that multiply to give you -3y squared. Your only possibility is 3y and y.